Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today I'm here to do my June reading wrap up. I am going to try and not move too much. I have a terrible crick in the top of my back, in the bottom of my neck. It's absolutely killing. So I'm going to try and not move around too much. She says already moving too much in the beginning of this video. So we're here to wrap up the 22 books that I did read in June. I did DNF 2, which I'm going to tell you about to start off with. But yeah, 22 books overall, which is pretty good, I think. Pretty darn good. I didn't do too bad. I will say though, some of the books at the beginning of this video, which I read at the beginning of the month, because I go through my wrap-ups in month order, felt like they were like 2 months ago. It's really bizarre. Like Wish You Were Her, for example, felt like ages ago. It didn't feel like it was the beginning of June. It's so weird. June felt like it went on forever a little bit, but also went by in the blink of an eye. I don't know how to explain it. If you know, you know. So the two books that I did DNF were Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I didn't get too far into this before making the decision to DNF. I think I got around 50 odd pages in. I just wasn't enjoying this. I don't think the audiobook was helping, I've got to be honest. The male narrator, actually it was the female narrator that was the problem in this one. The female narrator in this one just sounded really bored. And it was really bizarre and it was putting me off the book. And I know I probably could have physically read it, but I haven't heard great things either, which didn't help my situation. And I don't know. I don't know how to explain my feelings for this, but it just ended up being a DNF for me. This is the first time I've DNF'd an Ali Hazelwood. To be fair, I think the only rating she's missing from me now is a 1 star, to be honest. I've had like every single rating from her so far, so that's interesting. But yeah, I just wasn't feeling this one at all. So I did DNF this one. And then the other one that I did DNF was This Delicious Death by Kayla Cottingham. I think I got further into this one, maybe around 80 odd pages into this one. And again, I just was not feeling it at all. It was weird. I don't know. Everyone just seemed quite young and childish, and I just wasn't feeling it at all. Just wasn't feeling it. Again, the audiobook wasn't great either. So yeah, I DNF'd that one. That's it. That's all the explanation you're getting from me. I want to try and make this as quick as I possibly can. First of all, I've gotten back into the mood of disliking filming wrap-ups, which is a pain in my ass. I've never particularly liked filming them, but I've come back to doing them because it's an easy way for me to just put all the books that I've read in the month in one video. But I also film vlogs for these. It's very rare a book isn't featured in a video on my channel. So, you know, you can catch the vlogs. I tend to link them in the description box down below for the whole month, but also above as well. So yeah, I want to try and get through this as rapidly as possible because my neck is also killing me. So that doesn't help either. I then did read The Girl from the Other Side, volume 8, which I gave 4 stars. Really enjoying this series. It is getting very dark and I'm intrigued to finish this series off. So I've got volume 9 in here and then I've got up to volume 12 in the final bind up. So I've got 4 more volumes left to do for this series and I would like to get it wrapped up by the end of the year. So we'll see whether or not I do manage that. They don't take me long, these, to be honest. I could just binge them in like a day, but we'll see what happens with that. But for 4 stars for this one, I'm not going to go through and tell you about these books either because in all honesty, I truly can't be bothered. And Google's free. Okay, next we do have Dungeon Crawler Cal by Matt Dinnerman. I'm so glad that I picked this up. This was so much fun. I gave this 4.5 stars. I think if I'd have binged this in a day, it could have been a 5, but I did read it over several days. But I really enjoyed the audiobook for this. If you're going to pick this up, I highly recommend the audiobook. It's very, very good, and I will be continuing the series. I'm also obsessed with these covers. They're stunning. They're not cheap, but they're stunning, and I really enjoyed this one. So yeah, 4.5 stars for Dungeon Crawler Cal. This was so much fun. It's like a is it D&D? An RPG. I don't know what an RPG is. Role play game. It's like an RPG. I assume that's what RPG stands for anyway. I'm not a gamer, okay? It's like an RPG. It's very, very good and I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend, 4.5 stars. Then I did read Vanguard Strike by Jerome Strong. I really enjoyed this one. This was an arc from Second Sky, and I had both the ebook and the audiobook from NetGalley. So I really liked this one. It was very good. The narrator was fantastic, and I really enjoyed him. I will say, I think there was there's another book a little bit further down where it was the same narrator, and I was reading them very closely together and didn't enjoy the second book quite as much. Not from the same series. I'll explain myself in a second. But I really enjoyed this one, Vanguard Strike. I gave it 4 stars. It was a lot of fun. It's a trilogy. They all came out the same day. So I do want to go and read the other 2, but there's no audiobook for them yet. So I'm going to hold off a little bit, see if an audiobook comes out for them, because I think the audiobook was done very well. And I would like to continue on with the audio. So yeah, 4 stars for this one. Then I did move on to Wish You Were Her by Elle McNichol, which I also gave 4 stars. I was doing a read-along for this one with Book Break, so thank you to them for sending me a copy of this and for hosting the read-along. It was a lot of fun. This one was so good. It is a contemporary following a pop star who is trying to get away from the media and ends up going visiting her dad in a small town, and stays with him for a little while, and she ends up coming across this guy who's very gruff. He works for her dad at the bookshop. He's very gruff and grumpy, but as it turns out, they're both autistic, and neither of them know about the other. And a romance kind of builds, but it's also about her kind of reclaiming herself and finding herself again as a person rather than as a young movie star. So it was very good, and there were several moments in here where I was sobbing because I related a lot to the character with my ADHD. So yeah, there was a lot going on in here, and it was very good, 4 stars. Then, as just mentioned, the same narrator from Vanguard Strike did do Mercury Rising by R.W.W. Green. I did give this one 3 stars. As I said, I didn't enjoy this one quite as much, and I don't think it helped reading this one and Vanguard Strike back to back pretty much. I don't tend to read a great deal of sci-fi, but when I do, they tend to be spaced out, so I enjoy them a lot more. But I read a bunch of sci-fi back to back this month. The ones later in the month suffered a little bit, whereas I'm so glad I read Vanguard Strike first because it was so much fun. But this one, 3 stars. It was good, but I didn't love it. I don't know if I'm going to continue on. There is a second one in this series. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on, I've got to be honest. I don't think I was intrigued enough. I am going to keep this for the time being. There may be a point at which I come back and give it another read, because in theory I should have loved this, I think. But yeah, I didn't love it too much. So 3 stars for this one. Then I did read Enigma by Runix. Thank you to Evermore for sending me this one. I truly appreciate it. I gave this one 3.5 stars. This was good. I really liked the atmosphere in this one. I thought it was very good, and I really loved the characters in here. I didn't love it as much as Gothicana though, which I think I gave 4 or 4.5 stars a while ago because I had an arc of Gothicana. But yeah, I really liked this one. I think I'd read Nocticadia towards the end of last month, and it was kind of close to when I was picking this one up. I preferred that to this one because they're along similar lines, but 3.5 stars for this one. It was good. I had a good time, and thanks again to Evermore for sending it to me. Then I did read Caught Up, which is the second one to Lights Out by Navessa Allen. I gave Lights Out 5 stars. This one got 4.5. I really liked this one. It was so nice to see Josh so heavily in this one from book 1, but also Ali as well, and see it kind of come together, and it has made me excited for book 3. I'm not too keen on the male main character for book 3, but I'm interested to see how it all comes together in the end. But yeah, I really liked this one, 4.5 stars. It was good. Didn't love it as much as the first one, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. The narrators did a really good job. The audiobook was very good. Would recommend the audiobooks for these as well. They've produced very, very well duet narration. But yeah, 4.5 stars for this one. Then I did read The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. 4.5 stars. I loved this. This was so good. Gargoyle is one of my new favourite characters of all time. I think he's fantastic, and I'm very excited about the sequel to this one. I think I will definitely want to reread this when the sequel, or before the sequel comes out, right before the sequel comes out, because there was so much going on, and I feel like I could learn a lot more the second time round. But it was really, really good, and I had a fantastic time with this. Again, the audiobook was done very, very well. So yeah, very excited about continuing on with this series. 4.5 stars for The Night and the Moth. Okay, then I did read a bunch of books that I don't physically own, so I need my phone for this one. I read Protect by Paisley Hope, and I gave this one 4 stars. This was good. This is the second in the Skyridge Hotshot series, which follows a set of firefighters, that, you know, wild firefighters. So this one, I didn't love it as much as the first one, I will say. I feel like because in the first one we were following one of the firefighters, but then we were also following a paramedic that worked very closely with that team. I think it was very much so more surrounding that situation, the whole firefighting situation, everything that's going on, and I feel like we got more of an insight into that one, whereas this one, she works in the hospital, I think. So yeah, she does. She works in the hospital. So although she's working with mostly like the burns victims and stuff like that, she's not involved in the firefighting side of it too much. So we didn't get a great deal of that. I mean, it doesn't help that the main character ended up getting burned, and so he was in recovery for a good portion of it and not actually working. But I don't know, I just felt like I was missing that being involved with the firefighting side of things a little bit. Regardless, I gave it 4 stars, still really enjoyed it, love Paisley's writing, absolutely love it. Then I did read The Blanks. Was this one Grady Hendrix? Maybe, I can't remember. I gave this one 3.5 stars. It was good. It is the third or fourth, I can't remember, in the Shivers collection, if I remember correctly, unless that was last year's collection. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a short story and it was good. I did give it 3.5 stars. I had a good time with it. Not one of the worst ones from the collection, but not one of the best either. Then I did read Night and Day in Misery. This one was by Katrina Ward, and I gave this one 4 stars. This one was really good. It was terrifying, actually, because it was one of those, it wasn't one of those that it was heebie-jeebies terrifying, but it was one of those that it was the situation itself. If you were in this situation, it would be absolutely heartbreaking for you, and it would be terrifying. Essentially, she had like a bit of a ghost, if you like, following her around. She lost her husband and son in the same accident, and she had only one story of how this went down, and she kind of has like this ghost of her son following her around, if you like, that ends up telling her the real story of what happened. She ends up finding out exactly what it was that happened, and it's terrifying and heartbreaking, but it was such a good read and I really enjoyed it. Then Letter Slot by Owen King, if I remember correctly, who is one of Stephen King's sons. I gave this one 2 stars. I hope I've got the authors right on this. My apologies to Owen King if this isn't his, but I'm fairly certain that it is. I gave this one 2 stars. Didn't love it. I think what happened with this one, and I do need to go back and give it another read, I was zoning out a lot. And there was a lot that I didn't pick up on at all. When I went back and reread the synopsis, I was like, I missed that completely. And I think I zoned out massively on this one, because I think I read these 3 back to back. So I think I zoned out hugely on this one. So I do need to go back and give it another read and give it another chance, and probably reevaluate my rating on that one. But for now, it is 2 stars. Then I did read The Corruption of Hollis Brown by Kay Ancrum. I really enjoy Kay Ancrum's writing style. The Wicker King is my favourite from her and one of my all-time favourite books. I have read everything else that she's done except for Darling. I DNF that one, but I'm not a fan of Peter Pan retellings. This one I gave 3.5 stars. It was good. It was really interesting and I had a good time with it, but not one of my favourites from her. I preferred The Weight of Stars over this one, and I think I preferred Icarus over this one as well. So yeah, 3.5 stars for this one. Then I did read Take My Name by Brooke Montgomery, which I gave 4.5 stars. This is the start of a new series, and I really enjoyed this one. I loved seeing a couple of the brothers from the first series, which is the Sugarland Creek series. So I loved seeing some of those have cameos in this book, and I'm so excited about where this series is going to go and who we're following. It was very good indeed. If you like your small town romances and cowboy romances, these series are for you for sure. The Sugarland Creek series, I would recommend reading that series first and then moving on to this one. This is the first book in the series. The rest will be coming out soon. But yeah, it's the first book in a new series and I would highly recommend them. They're very, very good. I really liked it. Then I read another sci-fi and it was The Last Gifts of the Universe by Riley August. I don't think I got out of this what a lot of people have been getting out of it. I gave it 3 stars. It was just fine for me. I didn't love it. Like I say, my rating could be affected because I read a lot of sci-fi back to back. A lot for me. Like 2 sci-fis back to back is a lot for me. But overall, I gave this one 3 stars. It was just okay. Then I did read Constantine, Distorted Illusions by Cami Garcia and Isaac Goodhart. I really liked this one and I do wish that there was another volume to it. I can't remember when this one was done, but I wonder if we will get more. Cami Garcia does the DC comics that I really enjoy, that I've been collecting, these ones. So I really enjoy those ones and I'm constantly on the lookout for more of them. This one came out in 2022. So I don't know if we're going to get another one, but I really liked it and I wouldn't mind another, honestly. I did give it 4 stars. I had a good time. Then I did read Dracula, The Midnight Children Volume 2. I gave this one 4.5 stars. This series is so weird and half the time I don't know what the hell is going on. But I'm so intrigued and want to know more about it. So yeah, I've been continuing on with this series and I did give this one 4.5 stars. It is inspired by Bram Stoker's Dracula, obviously, but it is in illustration format. That gives away absolutely nothing. So yeah, it's good so far. I'm having a good time, 4.5 stars. Then I did read Mixing Up Mayhem by Heather Nix. This came in the Indecent Book Club box and I really liked this one. I gave it 4 stars. It was so much fun, very spicy, but it was so much fun and I just had a very good time with it. And this edition of this book is stunning. I'm so glad that I picked it up. This came in and I think I started it the following day. It was so much fun. I managed to do it for the I think it was the Spinner Wheel Picks My Pride books, so I was really glad about that. But yeah, 4 stars for this one. Then I did read They Never Learn by Lane Fargo, which was only one of 2 5-star reads for me. I absolutely loved this. This was so good. The female rage in this was insane. I got to a point where I wanted to kick a door off its hinges, never mind the main character. I loved this so much. Scarlett is one of my new favourite characters of all time. I think she's fantastic. I have entirely forgotten now the name of the other female character in that book. I could have taken or left her, quite frankly, but her character arc, outstanding. This whole book, fantastic. I've been wanting to read this since it first came out in the US, which was like years ago now, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but we've just not been able to get hold of it in the UK. And then I managed to get an arc of it because it's now come out in the UK. So good. I definitely want a trophy copy for my shelves because I think this is one that I could read again and again and again and maybe pick up on more things again. So definitely want a trophy copy for my shelves, but I love this one, 5 stars. Then I did read With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I gave this one 4 stars. I'm so glad. So glad, because I've had a couple of duds from Riley Sager over the last couple of years. His earlier stuff, loved it, but more recently, not so much, honestly. But I loved this. I thought this was so good. I thought it was very, very clever and I had a very good time with it. I loved that isolated setting. I loved what was going on in this one. I thought it was really good. There was many like reveal after reveal after reveal. I will say in some of it you do have to suspend your disbelief a little bit, but overall I really enjoyed this one. I feel like we're kind of getting there again with Riley Sager, albeit maybe not, because I didn't love Middle of the Night, which was last year's release. I enjoyed what was it called? What was the... Please let them be in here. Okay, I didn't love Middle of the Night, which was last year's release. The only one left, I think I gave 4 stars. The House Across the Lake, I gave 2, I think. Survive the Night, I haven't read. But Home Before Dark, Lock Every Door, Last Time I Lied, and Final Girls have all been 4 or 4.5 star reads for me. So, you know, we've got swings and roundabouts for sure. There's only been 2 that I haven't liked and only 1 I haven't read yet, which is Survive the Night, which I think is his, like, most controversial one. The one that you either love or hate. It's literally Marmite, I think, that book. Actually, House Across the Lake might be the same as well. I don't think there's many middle of the road with that one. But this one, 4 stars. I really liked it. I had a good time. Then my second 5-star read for the month was Drown by Holly Croco. I think I'm saying that correctly. I'm not sure. My apologies. This was another arc. And again, like I say, 5 stars for this one. This was so good. I don't know what I was expecting from this one. Essentially, we've got our FMC and MMC. He is a cop. She is an alcoholic and she works on a construction site. She's a functioning alcoholic. She's very aware of her, you know, of the alcoholism. She's very, very much so aware of it, but she's a functioning alcoholic. She goes to work, she does her day to day, she gets by, she gets absolutely smashed in the evening, she gets up in the morning, she just does it all again. She's got a very normal family. There isn't necessarily any trauma to explain why she is this way. She's just this way. And something happens on the construction sites that she works for, in which a woman's body is found. And then a couple more are found on another construction site that she works on. And the police need her to help them. But he is not happy about the situation. They've already had a little bit of a thing at the beginning of the book, the very beginning of the book in a bar. And he's not happy about the fact that she's having to help them out because she's an alcoholic. And there is a reason behind it. And the story, the arc for both of them, phenomenal. The story between the two of them, incredible. And I just loved everything about this book. The storytelling, the deep dive into alcoholism as a whole. I just thought it was so beautifully done. There were several times where I was sobbing in this book, and it was such an incredible story and I really enjoyed it. So would highly recommend this one for sure. Please do go check it out, but watch your triggers. But yeah, it was fantastic. Loved this one, 5 stars. And then last but by no means least, I did read Nightshade by Autumn Woods. I loved this. It was so good. 4.5 stars. I read this while I was on holiday in Egypt. It was the Oh No, Drowned, I also read while I was in Egypt as well. But yeah, those 2 books while I was in Egypt. The rest of them will be in July's wrap up because I read them in July. But yeah, 4.5 stars for this one. This was fantastic. I had such a good time with it. There is a stalking element to this, which is therefore surprised me on the basis I thought it was going to cause me a problem, but it didn't, thank God. But I really enjoyed this one. I think the characters was so good. I'm very excited about the next one in this series, and I had a really good time with it. So yeah, 4.5 stars for this one. So those were the 22 books that I read and the 2 books that I DNF'd. 2 5-star reads overall, a lot of 4.5 star reads, which is great, and then a couple of middle of the road ones or less. But I had a good reading month overall, I think. Like I say, I will have linked all of the reading vlogs that I did in June in the description box down below, and they may have popped up here relevant to the books. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. What was your favourite book of June? Let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.